they reported Mohbad's demise. Few hours he died, or few hours he was. But if it was a case of police got there and they realized that this person has been dead since yesterday, and you are just reporting to the police, then that means you guys covered up something. You tampered with the crime scene. You have tampered with enough evidence before you inform the police, so that we will not be able to find something to nip or to nail. Either one died. The railings are no longer there. Fine. We made a mistake. We didn't invite you or bring you in for questioning. Now there is a lead, a very vital information. And then they were able to even take us to images a day before the Mohbad died. The railings were still there. What removed the railings? Because when we came to that house, truly, third day after Mohbad died, the railings were not there. You kill the person, but you cannot be sentenced or charged for murder. Human rights in here. Intention on it on defend any. So you cannot charge this person for murder. If the system or the government says, murder, I charge you for murder, I will put my life on the line and say, not on your life. Why are they back? Manslaughter, I confess, charge him for manslaughter, period. How well do you want your children to be safe in a society? A case will serve as a study case, as a template for how we want children and every other person to be safe and secured in our society. Visitors and even Nigerians that travel abroad, they come to Nigeria on visitation. Why should anybody say, because I think this person has got money, let me go and kill him or her in the house, and then the police will now be tewa. How will you feel if people like us will say we're not concerned? A case that is very, very, very sensitive. It concerns everybody, including visitors to Nigeria. Because visitors to Nigeria can be good. And we must not present Nigeria as a society that killing people are always treated with kid's glove. And then, when it comes to the case of homicide, homicide is always deaths that occur within the house. And because of the sensitivity of that kind and complexity of that kind of death, it is always necessary to understand that when police are to investigate or are investigating, they always initiate what is called pre-arrest in the course of investigation. So whether you are the father, whether you are the mother, whether you are the friend, whether you are the son, when the police get an inkling that somebody had been killed within the house, the police are duty bound to quickly investigate. And that is why it is very important. If anybody should die within the house, the first thing that anybody should do is to report immediately to the police. If you cover up somebody's death within the house, or 1 day, 2 days before you inform the police, you are running a risk of being, charged with murder. You are running a risk of being charged with, even to be a prime suspect. So it is natural for all of us to understand that when anybody dies within the house, immediately do not join them in the cover up. If you know you are within the house, you are within the proximity, the person died, the best you can do is please report immediately to the police. Let them report to the police so the police can come, ascertain, look at the person who is on the floor, who is dead, look at the reason or the likely cause of death, and then, bring everybody in for questioning. It is called pre-arrest. And in the case of Mohbad, because only the truth can set the people free, only the truth can set the youth free. The police, the investigators, the first thing they need to do is to arrest everybody around Mohbad. The reason is because if he died in his sleep, the person that slept beside him should be able to give account of how it happened or what he or she knows. If he died 2-3 hours before anybody gets to know, the driver or the cook or whoever is within the house should be able to give an account. So it is when they are being brought into the police station, it is called pre-arrest. That would have helped to actually curtail any form of cover-up. Now we should be asking ourselves, is this not a shameful thing that at the end of the day, this is tilting towards homicide, and the first person that should have been taken in should have been arrested, the first suspect? When they say arrest, don't get it wrong, because a lot of people are ignorant or are trying to pass wrong information on social media. When you call for an arrest, an investigation, it is different to call for arrest and charging. It is when they know what killed him, after they investigated, then they can charge. So when they say arrest and investigate, is because there is an information flying around saying this person is responsible. So when you look at what the police have done, they are the ones giving the room for this, because if the wife, the staff, the brother, everybody have been taken in immediately, that is, if they reported Mohbad's demise, few hours he died or few hours he was, but if it was a case of police got there and they realized that this person has been dead since yesterday and you are just reporting to the police, then that means you guys covered up something. You tampered with the crime scene. You have tampered with enough evidence before you inform the police, so that we will not be able to find something to nip or to nail either of you. That is why immediately police get to see that, they will know that virtually everybody within the vicinity of the man are prime suspects. Anybody within him, within 48 hours, and when they ask what role did you play, where were you, they know that either of them or all of them collectively committed the crime. So the rule of law is sacrosanct. It's shameful that the police in my country at this stage, we are now beginning to hear information that clearly shows that if the police had acted quickly, without being sentimental, and they were looking to other places, if the police had done the right thing immediately by arresting every reasonable person, it's called pre-arrest. Every reasonable person that should be brought in for questioning, there won't have been room for all this. So it's quite sad. It's quite unfortunate. I don't know Mohbad one-on-one. I don't know I don't know Prime Boy. I don't know Spending. I don't know Wumi. I don't know anybody. But when it comes to case of murder, it is your case. It concerns you. It is everybody's case. It is not a case of they will kill your son and you go to court and charge somebody to court. No. The state must take over the case. The police must take over. It's the government versus whoever is involved. So murder case is different. And when it comes to homicide, when allegations are not flying, when it comes to case of homicide, police are duty bound to say, if you know anything, or if there is anybody that know anything, please inform the police or come to the police and report. There will be witness protection. So there is no way we're two ways about it. And don't forget, Nigerians, from my own personal investigation, I don't know who brought the idea of coroner inquest. Because police are meant to be investigating. When police investigate, and they must naturally, don't be deceived. If police have brought all these people in, and they investigated, not just questioning them, by going back to the crime scene, they will have to cordon the crime scene. and ensure that the crime scene has not been tampered with, there won't be all of this. They will know who killed Mohbad if he died not from natural cause, if he was killed within the house. So if the crime scene has been tampered with, and then it took them time before they report the death, Toba Jekpe, he slept while he was within the house, Oyo Shubu, and he died. And there is a wife with him. There is a brother with him. Of course, you'll be able to know within 2 hours, Toba Rokwe, within the house, that where are you? And then you'll be able to know, okay, this is why, and this is what happened. And if they are certain and they look at the entire body and they look at everything, like, where are blood stains, where are this, where are that, then it's going to be very, very clear and simple. So I don't know, I don't know what people are not getting, because I'm still to get deep into the whole case. You know, I need my emotions to really come up before I attack quickly. Don't get it twisted. Do not mistake call for arrest and investigation to call to arrest and charge. I cannot determine who should be charged or who should not be charged. But of course, I have every right to call the police, and the only way this can go, from all indications from what this woman, Egbonwumi, well, with all she has given out as serious additional information, trust me, the Justice for Mohbad team and every NGO that are supporting them, if there is any, they should compile those evidences and write a petition based on that to the police. Because police will tell you nobody has come to complain and they've not seen all those things. So, if anybody has any useful information, or anybody came forward with useful information, it's quite sad that at the end of the day, look at what Karimo is bringing out. A phone is missing. Look at what they are saying. The railings in the house were destroyed out of fighting, domestic violence. Look at all those tangible information. There is no way the police will get to that kind of information, whether by formal notice or what is flying on social media, and they will not, and they are not meant to make arrest and demand that, come and tell us, is there any other phone? Bearing in mind that any tough information, police will ensure they contact the person, and if the person is able to give the police accurate information where the phone is, how it was hidden, police are duty bound to go arrest whoever tabaning phone in your way, because it's an active investigation. Whoever killed Mohbad is still out there. Timo. So whoever it is, when the police have enough evidence to themselves, and they invited Wumi and like, is it true that there is a phone with you? If she says no, police will keep whatever they have as evidence. Is it true that there was a fighting? And what happened to the railings of the house? And if they can bring evidence that a day before Mohbad died, all the railings were there. If somebody can come up with, maybe there's a video they posted, police are meant to go into the social media. Was there a video posted a day before the fight? 2 days before the fight? Those railings that Karimo mentioned, is there a likelihood in any of the video Karipo Wambe? And then they will ask the woman that is in the house, now after your husband died, the railings are no longer there. Fine, we made a mistake, we didn't invite you or bring you in for questioning. Now there is a lead, a very vital information. And then they were able to even take us to images a day before the Mohbad died. The railings were still there. What removed the railings? Because when we came to that house, truly, 3rd day after Mohbad died, the railings were not there. Then you explain, railings. Then the police will know that this is a very vital information, and then they will take the necessary step. The reason is because when we say justice for Mohbad, Ati Karimo, Ati Wunmi, Ati Prime Boy, Ati everybody, we all wanted justice for Mohbad. So I don't know where and how anybody would beat her. Toba don't like come back me one suspect where I have any reason to be part of or to get close to. Then this justice or the investigation can navigate towards my side. So all these things are what we want, because the international community, they are looking. And it up everybody wanted justice. He hasn't got justice. They've demonized the man. They've even changed the whole narrative. They've said so many things. So what I will advise, justice for Mohbad. Compile the video of Karimo, burn it into a disc as a matter of urgency. Write a petition to the Commissioner of Police. Attach those CDs, all those vital information. Send it as quickly as possible tomorrow morning. If you inform all of us that you have done that, we are going to do that from my own side here. But if the entire justice for Mohbad can come together tonight, and then you are able to do that, trust me, if the police fail to act within 48 hours, then we will know the police have compromised, then we are in for a big thing. It is not the government that started the corona inquest. So there is no way you will blame Lagos State government. Leave Lagos State government out of this. This is not a state murdered situation. So leave Lagos State government out of it. But you can compel them where they are not doing the right thing. Because whether we like it or not, the government, they want what? They want support from the public. Give us support. Where you think we should do things, please do it. And that is the best thing. So if Baba Mohbad, the justice for Mohbad, if you compile those overwhelming allegations by Karimo, anybody which it's a different angle to what the police have not seen before. It's still an investigation. The investigation is still ongoing. So every information is vital. So the moment you are able to compile and compress those videos in a CD and you submit, if after 48 hours the police did not act, then there is going to be war. Papa Mohbad, you have every right to stand and accuse that you have been deceived. Police must act and act fast, because whether we like it or not, those information, whether they are true or not, when they arrest or invite Wunmi that is being accused, when they invite, it doesn't mean she has committed a crime. It does not mean she is guilty. But those information, it's only a criminal, only an uninformed person will assume that when a case is, investigation is ongoing, and that kind of information, filtered or came out unexpectedly, that the police should just ignore it and say, no, it's irrelevant. When in the first place, anyone accused was not originally arrested and investigated properly according to the law. So it is quite important that when anybody can be accused, a lot of petitions are written with or without evidence. The police are duty bound to investigate. Like I said, arrest is not guilty verdict. Arrest does not mean you have done wrong. But if the police do not arrest or invite for questioning, that means they are not investigating in that angle. And it is our duty to let the police know that how can you be treating case of homicide and you are not investigating to this angle? You cannot investigate somebody that is one of his suspects by just waving at the person or waiting for the person to talk. It is not professional. That means something is going on. Then there is a cover-up going on. I don't know how true it is. I don't know who brought the idea or who went to the legal chamber to ask them to initiate coroner inquest. To me, if you ask me whether the coroner inquest will continue, the police should act now and do their job. It has nothing to do with the coroner inquest. The police should, if police have reasons to investigate and know what killed Mohbad in isolation of the coroner inquest, they are bound under the law to continue their investigation. All these things are what we should know, and we should do the right thing. We should do the right thing now. We cannot fold our arms and keep quiet. And that is why Break the Silence Foundation, we are already, we have been in the case from beginning. There was no time I was silent about justice for Mohbad. I was just taking my time to see that the whole process is followed. I don't know who killed Mohbad. Nobody knew who killed Mohbad. At the initial stage, there was nowhere anybody would ever think about what Karimo was saying now. Afitoba, you are not raised with a honest background. Nobody ever thought about what she's saying now. She came for me at a point. I was shown. I was like, what have I said that is wrong? I said my own bit. I've said my own truth. I'll say my truth. It's the truth that I have to be told. So it's a society we find ourselves. And that is why I'm going to appeal to the police. I'm going to appeal to the state government. This Mohbad's case is very sensitive. Very, very sensitive. A lot of people are demanding for the justice because you will ask that no justice should be served on Mohbad's case because you think your children are immune to being killed irrationally. Beat your chest that Mohbad does not deserve justice, and let me see how your children will survive and become a better person in this country. Any sane person will understand the nitty-gritty that proper investigation must be done. So, Karimo has not committed any crime if she's coming out to talk now. The fact remains that the investigation is still ongoing. And then she spoke to her conscience. I cannot continue. You don't be surprised if any other person, total monk on me, within the circle, will still come out and speak the truth. Because if there is anything anybody have been threatening, is it that people are threatening or they don't just want to speak the truth? And the police should understand that they need to do the right thing. Don't ruin this country. If the police have done the right thing by bringing in every reasonable person that logically should be brought in a case of homicide from inception, maybe all these things that we are hearing, police would have investigated and the investigation would have traversed towards that side. How would the police feel if truly there is a phone that is being taken away, and if they should contact Karimo, she will tell them who is holding the phone, how the phone was taken, where the phone is. But how can the police say it's irrelevant? Which police system will get to hear that kind of information and will say it's irrelevant? The only reason police will pretend they cannot act now is if a reasonable person, the family, or non-governmental organization that is standing by the family to get justice did not do the right thing by compiling those overwhelming evidences and information and share with the police. Police might say, you are only saying it, we didn't see any of these things you're saying. You didn't send it to us. There is no way you will submit those evidences that actions will not be taken. Because if you wait till the next coroner inquest, they've shifted the one for the 24th to 11th of September. To 11th of September. And what they will do at the coroner inquest is they will be asking questions. That is why, while they are investigating, they said Aburo Mohbad want to talk at a point. And they said he cannot talk. Somebody went to run after him. Under police investigation, all that may not be able to happen. All that may not be able to happen. So, the police should be allowed to return fully to the investigation. They should come back to it. This is a new dimension and angle to that investigation. If they fail to act, we should all conclude, all the justice from about that, there is likelihood that we will never get justice. That is the truth, Tavego. That will be the truth. That there is likely. So, what is going on at the coroner inquest should not in any way affect the police acting now. Because the police are the primary investigator of this homicide case. They are the primary investigator. But the Nigerian factor is, we cannot do any arrest now. You know, there is coroner inquest. Don't sell that to us. Don't sell that to us. So if somebody in Wumi's circle, not just a staff, not a neighbor, the blood sister, could give an insight, and before Karimo actually spoke out, millions of Nigerians know that as we speak, it is looking likely that Mohbad's death came from within that house. Nobody even knew anything about phone. Police don't know whether there is another phone hidden. Police don't know whether, I don't know whether there is a railing in Mohbad's house or not. So if that information filters out, a reasonable investigator will go to the house and check if there were actually railings or not. So what we should do as a matter of urgency, if you can help them, the legal team, the justice for Mohbad, you need to do that. Because if you don't take that step, all of us will look stupid at the end of the day. There is nothing much the coroner will do. Is when you get to a stage like that, when it's cut, what they will tell you is bring evidence. The police that are supposed to investigate and drag out evidence, if you don't make them work, they will not do anything. They will not do anything. I am telling you the honest truth. If anybody would want to hear the truth today, if you rely on the coroner inquest at live video court, the conclusion will be we need you to prove this beyond reasonable doubt. But the only institution that is allowed under the law to investigate the allegation Karimo brought up are the police. And there is no way they will investigate without arresting Wumi. Arresting Wumi is not that she is guilty. But that is the only way they can move close to knowing whether that allegation is true. If it was a false information, she might still pay. Karimo might still pay. But how can they make this kind of allegation? If you take this allegation, I will say my own truth. You can rely and sit and wait for coroner inquest. Coroner inquest that was not initiated by Lagos State government. They wrote to Lagos State government, Ministry of Justice. Somebody wrote to them. So if truly you don't want to deceive yourself in silence, diplomacy pẹ̀lú irọ́ mi ò ní talent yẹn. Àfi tí n bá fẹ́ dá sí rárá, ẹbí ọmọ ṣe. I don't know how to do it. I have lived well enough. Ayé tí mo pé mo wà nù ayé, mo ti bí you do it and ensure that you contribute the right thing to the progress of your country. There is no way killing people irrationally within the house can stop. If all of us are not united to say that when it comes to cases like this, let the truth be told. Let the truth come out. Because if you think because it's social media, because of the nonsense empathy and nonsense emotion, and you support this, what happens if tomorrow they kill you? Are you the one to... It is the duty of the people behind to ensure that they fight for the person, so that another person will not be killed irrationally, including your son, including your brother. So whether we like it or not, those vital information, the police must be able to come back, because if the justice for Mohbad will not come together, and if you don't do it by sending this petition, this additional information, and say, police, we add so and so. Of course, you will rely on intelligent reports. You have to rely on information. If you know something, say something. Somebody is claiming to know something now, and this is the person coming out with a bold face. She has a name. It is not even a matter of we are trying to protect the source. We don't want to... This witness or this person making this categorical confession is even very close to the person. Now that this information are there, all you need to do is go to that house and then re-invite all those people involved in this case. Because all of them should know that if the investigation with this new information turns out to be true, they might likely go down. Promise you Calvary that clear evidence, they might not be able to help them. There is no sense in aiding and abetting murder, knowing fully well that consequence karma only fún ẹni ẹ̀mí gúngùn, but I make sure pé gbogbo ọmọ tó bá bí ìjọ tó bá fẹ́ ṣoríire wọ́n ti máa dàgbà wọ́n débi ọlọ́run máa pa wọ́n lẹ́yìn kọ́kọ́. You thought you were ṣé fear ẹ̀rù ń bà ẹni, that fear tó ń bà ẹ lẹ́rù yẹn wàá rí ohun tó ń pè ní ìyà àti ìdààmú. When I preserve your life and I will ensure that every child you have, tó bá ti daytime tó fẹ́ cross yẹn, and I will be taking them, then you feel the pain. Wa feel the pain and baba Anthony Mohbad. Then I want to have they should come and serve, come and help you now. We're not saying we don't know who killed him. I didn't ask her to stop. None of the justice for Mohbad asked Karimo to speak. None of the justice for Mohbad, not even the father of Mohbad, asked Karimo to speak or say what she's saying. So if you are that low and you cannot consider the fact that whether it is true or not, if it is physical, if you are that intelligent, won't you go back and check the railings and say, Oshua pe ijalo for obo railings yẹn show wa mbekele ni. Yes, the railings were there a day before. Are you sure? If it gets to the place and find out that there was evidence that the railings were even there a day before, because social media, that's why you do a lot of videos you don't know. There is no way those that killed Mohbad will not leave one or two traces. They cannot cover all the tracks. They can never. Go and I can beat my chest. Except the police do not want to work. No matter how many people were covering the lies, except the police do not, there is no way you commit a natural murder that you will cover all your tracks. There is no way. So don't be deceived. It's quite shameful that after the police had already made us look like they've done their best, they've done everything. Meanwhile, part of the best should have included taking into custody Wunmi and every other person with it. So the missing link was that they were soft on Wunmi And it's shameful that at the end of the day, Ebi Wumi, a family close to me, is the one coming out to tell us that now a phone has been taken, which consists of major evidences. The railings of the house are evidences of physical and domestic violence. What are we talking about? Corona. If it is true that Corona inquest was initiated from the camp of Wumi, what are we talking about? We must stand and ensure that those in charge of those heading the Corona inquest, the judge, all of them, they follow the law. We will look into details. Every action, step they are taking. Leyiku sare. It is your right to stand and ensure that the right things are done in this kind of case as a citizen of this country. It's not something you'll be scared of. So we should engage the police. The police are there to do this. The police they will never tell you that the police are not interested in anybody killing another person. They are not interested. They don't want anybody to be killed. So for you to think police will want to cover, the only thing you can blame police for is negligence, or there was an oversight, or there is compromise within the police rank. One or two persons, they are trying to like, or they just go sentimental, and we can't really blame the police fully too, because at the initial stage of the Mohbad's announcement of Mohbad's death, all eyes were on the wrong set of people. Whether wrong or right, all eyes were on another set of people. So it is natural, the normal Oju Anu, to not think of doing the right thing by saying, Madam, you are with your husband 24 hours before he died, and with the look of things, this man died. If he died 2 hours before you tell the police, as the wife, and you are in the same house with him, you should be able to know quickly what killed him. There is no way. If somebody came into the house and killed him, or he died then you should be able to know. Do you understand? So it's something that if somebody dies and reports were made quickly, police will look at who were there, who probably have entered into the house, and all of things like that. Do you understand? So it's sacrosanct. It's quite important. So we're going to be appealing to the entire Justice for Mohbad team. Compress and burn all the videos of Karimo. That is the way to go. If you really want the police to act fully, we can only call for the arrest of Wumi. If police want to act, they can say, okay, from that, what we saw on social media, that's the vital information. They might have contacted Karimo, and if Karimo should supply them additional information that looks like there is likelihood that it is true, or there is need for them to now go deep, they will hold whatever evidence she has given to them, and then they will swing. But we are all human beings. This is somebody in their camp. This is the blood sister. And if she could come out and talk, is it that the spirit of Mohbad is pushing and asking for justice? And this is a sign that because of Inyokon, it could lead to something catastrophic. If the justice system, if the government and those in power do not do the needful, you would think Kini, Mohbad Kuni, and the body and the spirit is insisting, is giving signs. When things like that are happening, it's probably God is passing a message that do the right thing. Do the right thing gradually. And those in authority will like, what do we do? If you need to do it. Because if they don't, that somebody like Karimo could come out and talk. It's not a child's play. Karima has not committed any crime by coming to speak the truth or speak her own truth. She has not done anything wrong. That I'm your family does not mean I can bottle up anything you have done wrong for a long time. I'm not able to support murder. So we need to understand that it is something that has to do with the soul of this country. Murder is not kid's glove. Ofe come en law school. You want your children to go to work and then they go in peace and come back in peace. You don't want a situation where anybody can just wish I can kill my child or kill your child, and then everybody, Mama Tewo, now, it's over a month now, it's over here, just allow it. Justice, when well served, even if it won't recover who had been killed, it will forestall a repeat. When we do our movies, we take our time to mirror the society and ensure that our stories educate and caution people from committing crime, and that has in turn helped the society, the government, even the police, so that crimes will not be on the large scale. So when I speak like this, I'm not speaking because I'm and as a matter of fact, all of them have even been my enemy, or they might not even be my fan. That is not the point here. I am a human rights consultant and ambassador, and I'm speaking because I am promoting the frontiers of human rights. Mohbad has got right to life. If it is certain he was killed, then it is imperative for the government that we all voted for. And we voted for few people to be in charge of our commonwealth. It is not because they are better human beings. It is not because they are superhuman. It is not because they cannot be challenged. It is not because we don't have right to ask them to use our resources and that position to do the right thing in society. It is not. It is because it is our duty to support the government and the police in cases like this, so that even when they kill a government official, when they kill a police officer, justice is served. So naturally, in this case of murder, in this case of homicide, in this case of that is obvious to all of us that this is likely a case of murder. Whether it is a case of genuine or a false information, the police are duty bound to investigate. And there is no way they will investigate, there will not be a pre-arrest. So it is very important. And don't come around and think, because it's not about gender. Everybody should ask ourselves, how did it turn around to be that everybody wants to she likely to be responsible? Everybody has got right to also clean and absorb themselves. Don't forget that in the course of fighting for this Mohbad, you have cancelled somebody's career. And if in your conscience and honesty, including those in the camp of who they are now accusing now, and what if you wo any cancel career, any tenitoba mumba and kokpa. Now think about it. How will that person be feeling? That what if I was around? What if my children and wife did not? What if I did not run? What if they have killed me, thinking I was the one that killed Mohbad? So if you look at the whole scenario going around the case, if new information are coming out, why should any reasonable person think it is out of place for us to ask that the police should act? Where was the evidence that you all saw when you demanded that Samilari Naramali should be arrested for the death of Mohbad? Were they not investigated? Were they not arrested? Why should any other person should be bigger in this case? Faking Nigeria, Danny. These terrible people asking that now that an allegation was brought up, where was the evidence that all of us had that showed that Samilari killed Mohbad before he was arrested and investigated? Where was the evidence that we all had before Naira Marley was asked to return from abroad? And it's OTS, I want to where were the evidences? But police are duty bound to investigate. And in the course of investigation, they will bring you in for questioning. And then, the little things when people were able to throw out, and the few information police have, and when they realize that, okay, stay there. We are treating case of murder now. From allegations we've received. You cannot tell the police not to invite you. If it is a case of murder. Things are meant to be done the right way. So certainly we should ask our conscience, do we really want to get better as people? Can we continue like this and expect that all our courses on politicians will be effective? Will it work? Unlike Hero, you all love to sit and be raised with lies. And if look at this person, I don't want to use negative word. He said there were videos of bullying. We're talking about murder. They don't even, you have to know the difference. Do you know why the police have yet to even charge Samilari and the rest based on bullying? Because they are still investigating case of murder. Social media. But we just have to live together because social media is just like the normal everybody must have the opportunity to express themselves. So the question is this: if the police gets this complaint, that is what I expect them to do. That is why they should arrest her now. If they fail to take action, everybody that is asking for justice for Mohbad will be looking stupid. And it will mean that the police are deliberately inciting, like making us like and when people are aggrieved and the law says do not put laws into your hands, inform the authority and they will see the best they can make out of it. If the authority, the police, the government and the court are duly informed and they choose not to do anything, it is a call for anarchy. Anarchy looms. And if you love your society, you must be able to write and speak up and say whether it is true or not. If it is a credible information, what stops you in investigating? Maybe you are still investigating, and you are investigating with public funds. And that is what we're talking about. So the fact remains that you, in your conscience, you were typing, and all of your activities, all your talking, everything led to the arrest and investigation of Samilari, Prime Boy, Naira Marley. Those people who probably in the last 1 week or 2 weeks were not even close to where Mohbad was. And the things that likely caused the death of Mohbad must have happened if, from all indication, it looked like what killed Mohbad is something that was done to him within 48 hours or 24 hours before he died. But we were able to look at the few information we had, with or without evidence, and we went to say, ẹni tó wà ní máìlì mẹ́jọ, ó possible kò jẹ́ òun ló máa ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ pé ó ti rí gbẹ̀yìn wíyọ̀ ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì. It's still part of investigation. Police did not discard it. They went for them and asked them, tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ wà láì ẹ return padà. Let us investigate you. And they came back. I want you to share bí Mohbad now. Iṣẹ́ ló pa wọ́n pọ̀. So now the question is, why? Why would you, when an allegation has come up again, why would anybody in his right and to be more here, to fẹ́ gèrè ọmọ tó bí? I want it now. The police as an institution, of a credible institution, will say no, it's irrelevant. We are not going to do that. Knowing fully well that anyone that was accused, the woman that is being accused was not properly even investigated as a suspect from beginning. Because if they have done the job and do the right thing from beginning, maybe they would have seen all of these things like Karimo is just saying now. So the question is, why did the police do the right thing? Because from the report the commissioner of police then read out, nothing shows that Wunmi was properly investigated. And if they have investigated, interrogated her, maybe they just did it casually. Now that information are coming up, they should go back. That is not too much to say. That is not too much to say. Tani Wunmi is arrested. Tani kini pala. Tani mi ò ráyè ansajan lucky o. Mi ò ráyè ansajan lucky. Gbogbo wa mi ò rí mi che rí mi ma pọ̀ fonu film. Mi ò nǹkan tí n bá mọ̀ ṣe tí bá ti face ẹ lè lé mi ndie. I will tell you clearly that justice for Mohbad is a legitimate call. It is a right of the society. When cases like this come up, the right of a victim, the right of the defendant, and the right of the public must be upheld and protected by the prosecutors. It is a law. That you want to know what killed Mohbad is your right. Nobody on earth can ask you to keep quiet or stay away. It is your right. If you stand there, you cannot go to jail because of that. It's your right. Your right, you have right to even attend court proceedings if you have a chance. Because that is the only way the society can get better. So stop entertaining unnecessary ignorance and fear. If you are 18 years plus 1 day, you have a duty to defend not only the integrity of this society in Nigeria, but the prosperity and growth and peace of this country. But if you don't know who you are, if you don't know why you are being raised, if you don't know who your parents are, if you are not raised properly, you will just want to live, play around, and just get out of the country or do whatever, and don't care about Nigeria. Thinking those elected are the only ones that should be having sleepless nights on anything that concerns Nigeria. Then you will be thinking, why is it so difficult? We keep having problems from one leader to the other. We will condemn this particular government, and then we will all put our mouth together and say, bring in another one. They will bring in another one. And we will start saying, that one that we condemn is even better than this one. Let's check ourselves, the citizens. We are not looking at the fundamental problem of the Nigerian society. We always look at the peripheral, the things that can cheaply be said about the problem of Nigeria. With the problems, we are always hiding, and we're not even talking about our own contribution to the problem of this country. How will the police know the truth if those people that were there to come out and speak the truth are hiding? Shalom, torture on. Shalom, listen. I want to no to torture. And then people that know the truth are either scared to speak up, or are not bold enough to speak up, or don't even know that not speaking up will be detrimental not only to their today, but to their future. How will I want to support anybody who committed a murder? I don't care your reason for now. How will I cover you when I know that covering you up will leave or put me in eternal damnation? How will I cover somebody who killed another person, knowing that at the end of the day you might even turn out? I will be the next victim that you will kill because you know I have the truth. I will be the first person you want to kill. And then you will stage probably an accident or stage armed robbery and say that is how I died. Èmi kọ́ ayé òsì fún yẹn. And the police should put up a standard investigative structure. Witness protection is crucial. I can tell you for free, if you know what killed Mohbad and you have serious evidence, I will put my number down, or you send me a DM. Find a way to send me a DM. We will make sure, if it is possible for you to go and seek asylum and get out of this country. If you think the police will not help you, if you know there is a point police have joined them in threatening you, speak to us. We will find a way to get you out of this country. At least if that is one good thing you will do in your life, you will know certainly I have never aided and abetted anybody who killed, because the burden and the consequence will stand with you forever. I don't care who you are, how close you are to Mohbad, how distant you are to Mohbad. If you know what killed him and you choose to cover it up, téèyàn kan bá dáná fún gbogbo ìlú, wọ́n jẹ lájẹ yó, wọ́n ní àwọn ò tí ì rí jẹ́ńbì kò dọ́dọ̀ wá ń bì, ṣùgbọ́n tí ìlú bá dáná fún èèyàn kan, ó tí ì lè gbé ọwọ́ mélòó kọ̀ọ̀kan tó kú sí díẹ̀. Ìlú ló ń béèrè fún justice for Mohbad. Some people in police want justice for Mohbad. Some people in the government want justice for Mohbad. Some people in the court want justice for Mohbad. So whoever is within this circle and is trying to thwart or do the opposite, when God is giving us this very important lifeline, oh my difficult gone. So don't be deceived. The truth of the matter is, normal procedure, normal policing, láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀pẹ̀. One of the major persons that were supposed to be fully investigated, looking at the nature of death of Mohbad. Immediately police saw the nature of his death and the moves around bringing nurse, ẹjọ́ ṣé nurse yẹn jẹ́ Ben Carson. Wọ́n wá snap ọwọ́ tó ti wú burúkú bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, wọ́n snap ẹ̀ sí ẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ wà ní outside Nigeria. Wọ́n dẹ̀ láwọn fẹ́ gbé ọwọ́ yẹn dúró díẹ̀ torí wọ́n ló máa perform miracle. Ó ti mọ̀ pé nǹkan ti ṣẹlẹ̀, wọ́n ti fẹ́ ambush ẹ̀, wọ́n ti fẹ́ ti ṣọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀ ẹ́ lọ́wọ́. So kò tẹ̀ tí wọ́n ṣe kò ṣe professional nurse tó yẹ pé wọ́n lọ ń gbé ọwọ́ wú lẹ́dẹ̀ èèyàn sínú lásán kò tí lè mọ̀ kan tó máa fún. So ẹni tó wá gbé ọwọ́ lẹ́dẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn tó wà nulẹ̀ tọ́jọ́ gbọ́wọ́ lẹ́dẹ̀, police are now investigating. They are not holding those people as the prime suspect láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀. Ẹ wá tó àwa ẹgbẹ́ àwọn handicap, àwa ṣe judging of bad. Máa rí wèrè o, wàhálà ń bọ̀, wàhálà gidi. Àwọn tó silent wọn tiẹ̀ tí tẹ́ ẹ̀ gbọ́ pé wọ́n wá justice Mohbad wọ́n wà lẹ̀. Ẹ wá pull out. Èmi ò bá yín tẹ̀lé pull out. Ọmọ ṣe ń pariwo. All of you go back to my post. If you are honest, take your time. Go back to my post from beginning of justice for Mohbad. Nígbà kan tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí mention name. Mo ní ẹ má dárúkọ, ẹ má dá kéèsì irú, ẹ má dárúkọ. Ẹ jẹ́ kọ́lọ́pàá ṣiṣẹ́ torí mo ṣe kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀ tí bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú normal advice àtótọ́nù. Wọ́n á dẹ̀ sáré yí mọ́ mi lọ́wọ́ because it's a social media. Àwọn míì tó yẹ pé mi ò rò kúrò, mo kọ̀wé pé ẹ̀yin tí ń ṣe ti yín. Iṣẹ́ tèmi ni pé mò ń ṣe fíìmù, mo dẹ̀ yan human rights. My human rights advocacy is not just for victim only. It's not for things that will please you only. My human rights advocacy, because as an ambassador and a consultant for human, you must speak the truth. You don't want the truth, you cannot get justice when you are abusing the rights of one party and covering the rights of and allowing the rights of the other person. You cannot establish the truth. Ohun tó bá ti lè mú yín tẹ́tí gbà pé with the little information you have, with the little videos that we have, and we could accuse and attack, and some people even went ahead and they unfollowed and they accused Samilari of some information ló jẹ́ ká react sílẹ̀. Now investigation ti lọ back and forth pẹ̀lú nǹkan tó irú ikú tó pa Mohbad nínú ilé yẹn. Wọ́n rí pé ó jìnnà sí nǹkan tí Fine, they might have offended or hurt the guy at a point before. But kò tiẹ̀ ní ṣe pẹ̀lú tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lẹ̀ sí because ojúlówó tó yọ in tó pa ẹni yìí wọ́n mọ̀ pé in tó pa yẹn must be as a result of maybe physical attack within 48 hours. Ìdí táwọn èèyàn ṣe rò pé àbí wọ́n rán yàn wọlé kọ́ lọ lù Mohbad pamọ́ nulẹ̀ ni lọ́ ṣe ránṣọ mọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n ti ń threaten ẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. So the fact remains that we cannot be safe as a society when we cannot speak the truth to the young people. Young people will continue to be perpetually exploited if you cannot accept and embrace the truth. If you goof, come out and own it. That is the only way you can bring proper cleansing. That is the only way you can get proper cleansing. That is when you are raised to speak the truth. I am not doing this because of anybody. I'm not doing this because I am doing this because of my country. I will never be happy if anybody is being sent to prison for a crime he did not commit. The consequence is coming on myself and my children. There are some prophets in the Bible, they were punished solely because they refused to speak up. That is why most people are being punished. That is why most of the concerns and most of the torture, the turmoil you are going through in this country, altogether, is not because you are part of those that perpetrated the crime, but because you chose to be silent and you chose to be a coward. Murder is a serious crime. It attracts capital punishment. Because it can be recovered. That can be. Honorable members, they fight themselves in the house. Honorable members, they fight themselves in the house. Footballers, they fight themselves. But in the case of your intention over determine. Some murder might be manslaughter. Me intention atipa. O lagi mo mi lórí, mi no le lagi wo lórí padà. O de yo ṣubú, o de kú. Ẹ jẹ́ ká rí proof ṣé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn. Ọlọ́pàá rí pé mo evidence jẹ́ ká rí pé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn. Ṣé nǹkan tó ṣe tabari good. They will change your charges to manslaughter. It doesn't necessarily they will accuse you of murder. If that was the case, they accuse you, see. Kí rí pé èèyàn fẹ́ lagi mọ́yàn àbó lagi mọ́yàn. Ẹni yẹn wá try láti defend ààrẹ. Mi ló ti tí onítọ̀ padà wá kú. You kill the person, but you cannot be sentenced or charged for murder. Èmi máa dá tán síbẹ̀. N tó pé human rights nìyẹn. Intention onítọ̀ kò ṣe pé kó lè kópa. Ó ń defend ààrẹ ni. So you cannot charge this person for murder. If the system or the government says, ẹ wo, Ọlọ́run ló pa òyìnbó tó sọ ni murder ni, ẹ charge for murder. I will put my life on the line and say, not on your life. Why lè gbà? Kò ṣe pé òun ló kò ṣe murder lásán. Manslaughter, kẹ́ni yẹn lè mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́. A kò fẹ́ sọ pé má ṣerú ẹ̀ mọ́. Charge him for manslaughter, period. If you come out and defend that, they will say you are supporting a murderer. Human rights is not about trying to look for things that will please. You speak the truth. So, on top of it, they get money here because if the youths know the truth and they are informed, then we will start having a better country because most of the things still our young indulge and our tongue get involved in is causing a serious setback for the government. The reason why most of the politicians will be like, with the frugal resources available, if we should start doing these things, majority before they will even accept these basic social amenities, we will have to start begging them, explain to them. And that is why we have to start investing. Don't think that everything is government. To be knowledgeable, to be informed, is not the job of the government. It's the duty of you and I. Do you travel abroad? Do you work in a place where you have access to information? If you die with the information and knowledge you have, you are now you are now a wasteful child. So we should speak the truth to ourselves. We have to speak the truth to ourselves. So whether you like it or not, we must be able to narrow it down. If they make that petition, so if any of the justices for Mohbad are listening, my NGO was going to do that. But I want to pass the information to the Justice for Mohbad team first. Because already ni won. Aye social media lawai. So if the Justice for Mohbad team, if they are having the right legal support, and they are properly and ready to do the right thing, for the police not to feign ignorance or not knowing that there is any information out there, if you think it is a cause for concern, put up those documentary evidences, burn them down into CD, and then send it with a petition, whether under the auspices of Justice for Mohbad. If anybody is not willing to front or to be the head of this stuff, oh man, there must be somebody they can address, there must be somebody they can communicate with. You want to interest. If you are an interested party, you need to come out and say, we are the one asking. We are not violent. We add social information. And we realize that this information is looking like you probably skipped it. Or it was covered. You were obstructed. There is likelihood of obstruction of police investigation, which is a criminal offense. We want you to go back and do this. And when I say, there is no way they want to cover up a natural crime. One man feel mistake and then when you police go back, if they will be honest, because Karimo certainly will give tangible information to the Justice for Mohbad team and will copy the same to the police. So if the police do go ahead to do that and they mess it up, one of the terrible things is to find the police blatantly trying to cover up such a crime like this, or the person that is culpable. One of the things that is very sensitive and dangerous is to allow yourself or your government or anybody, any agent of government, to do the opposite. Olewu. So when they are telling us there is a phone containing, also Mohbad also spoke about a particular phone. Was the what happened to the iCloud? Was there CCTV in the house? And then the police should, as a matter of fact, re-interview. Because I will tell you categorically, if you go by the coroner inquest, the only way we can achieve anything tangible with the coroner inquest is that all of us must stand our feet. We must be there. We must put our eyes, put our hearts to it. Because if truly the person that committed the crime is still part of those going to the coroner inquest, Tebati Fia Yele. I want to trust the justice system. I want to trust those people in charge of the coroner inquest that they would never compromise. But if there is any concern, for me, one truth from what I was told is that it's likely that, I don't know who called Femi Falana to initiate legal support, legal services, which in turn brought about coroner inquest. If it is true that Wunmi is a client and it is on the behest of Wunmi that the Falana chamber initiated that coroner inquest, we need to we need to double up. So reasonable people in the society will need to stand up, because the poor masses, if the truth should get to them, Emi only saw you yellow, but justice for Mohbad, I knew how passionate I was when I was on my world tour. And when I began to speak about justice for Mohbad, I pasted my travel ticket that I was going to cut short my tour to return to Nigeria to advocate that justice must be served. On ti bere corona, on ti bere anything, on ti see Mohbad ngba yen. All those that knew, you can go back to my page and see. So we have to speak the truth, because at the beginning, there was a time I posted the Wunmi and Mohbad, and I was empathizing with them. I was empathizing. So I was not in. I have nothing against Wunmi. The only thing is, if they accuse her with what they are saying, I can never be so foolish or kinwakto. I am an advocate of justice for Mohbad is bigger than any other person as we speak now. And any mess up, any mistake with this case, it doesn't necessarily have to be that until the government or they sponsor some unrest before it has effect. Some are naturally going to come up. Moses only job to support here to support the children of Israel should be free. It is the kingdom, it is the government of God Almighty that stood by the children of Israel and Moses. And when the government of Pharaoh thinks that he is too powerful, he went ahead with his body language and everything. He said, "Who is that God that will ask me that I should free you?" The moment he made that move and mentioned that stuff, he lost his entire family. He lost his entire kingdom. Signs will come. Signs will come. I don't have to be a pastor before I tell you some certain things. The things are not upright. Things are working on the contrary. Innocent blood are being shed. Cases like this will come up, and it's destroying a lifeline to the young people and to the society. But you know what? I will not fix your murder cases in Nigeria. One person will be killed. I will allow the death. Maybe you will stand up and fix your country by being collectively and united in one voice. You're not God that made Karimo speak, whether she's speaking the truth or not. It's something is telling us. Something is telling the government that, you know what? If you do shabby investigation, if you do emotional investigation, if I am God, I am ready to speak. Those that you never expect will speak are the people that will touch their hearts, and they will speak. And then they will know that who is now the enemy of the same country and the same state. Is it you that you choose not to do your job? Is it you that you are trusted with public power, that you choose to cover something as sacred as murder? Is it who is now the enemy of the state? Who should go down under the justice system? Is it those that will now react? That why is this now seen as a cover-up? Is it those that will be speaking up the way I'm speaking and say that why? What happened to the proper investigation in the first place? And if you didn't do it in the first place, now that a new lead is coming up, don't pretend to the people, don't pretend to the public Rearrange your philosophies. Call your officers and say, you have a new lead on information. The public trust is crucial. Public police is important. Your children can also be killed in this fashion. Will you want shady or shabby investigation? That you're a police officer does not mean your children are immune to death or murder. You need to understand that this is very important. We need to speak the truth to ourselves and call our consciousness to real things. When you fight and you demand and you fight for the rights of others, that is humanity. The essence of life is to ensure that you fight for duty of care, justice, and peace of the other person. That is what we have to consider. How well do you want your children to be safe in a society? A case will serve as a study case, as a template for how we want children and every other person to be safe and secured in our society. Visitors and even Nigerians that traveled abroad, they come to Nigeria on visitation. Why should anybody say, because I think this person has got money, let me go and kill him or her in the house, and then the police will now be tewa. How will you feel if people like us will say we're not concerned? How long do we want to continue in sin and ask the grace of God to abound? How long do we have to teach ourselves that human lives are sacred? We need to raise an army of children and next generation, that duty of care, that life is valuable in Nigeria. We are the government. We have truly given birth to who is going to be in government positions. If you wash your hands, can you wash your conscience? If you wash your hands in Mohbad's case, can you wash your conscience? If Mohbad at a point in time, is this the way you're going to pay him back? By covering up what you know as a truth, thinking you're going to be killed. Let me be honest with you. If truly Mohbad was killed before his time, whoever killed Mohbad is not a serial killer. That person has no nerve to kill the next person. I don't care who is behind them. So don't be scared that you'll be killed. And if they've promised you anything, you're getting nothing. Nobody's going to give you nothing. If you have received anything, there is likelihood investigation might trace you back. Be careful of what you collect. Like I said earlier on, no matter how careful you are, if it is a natural crime, you would always leave traces. Oh, you can never be wiser. If we all stood by this same family, because I will not remove myself, and a lot of people were thinking some sort of people were involved because of allegations. Apart from the video, Mohbad that you're in a building, so to Bolara, see the picture of particular face or individual, I don't know, to Bolara, because there was no video of where he was beaten, was somebody beat him up. Every other evidences we have did not point directly to anybody eating him. But we went after everybody that was accused of getting involved in bullying him. That is how far the justice system and the society wanted to react to whoever killed Mohbad. But despite all that, we were all duty bound to allow the police to investigate and tell us who killed Mohbad. And in the course of investigation, there is a killer somewhere. How can you change your... You don't deserve to be a leader if you change immediately and say, then then there's no need for justice for Mohbad. You are a disgusting individual if you think that way.